tend to be for white males. Economic opportunity for white males, but also the Democrats are courting the Irish as well at this time, and foreigners. Southerners, Westerners, small farmers and urban workers, and some immigrants. The Whigs are going to have a nativist twinge to them, and they're going to turn off immigrants. So Whigs, first and foremost, they're anti-Jackson. They're for the American system. They also have that moral crusader, reformer aspect to them. So they're against vice and crime, temperance folks. They tend to be more urban middle class, nativist attracted, New Englanders, middle Atlantic and upper western states. Protestant middle class urban professionals are attracted to this. And there was this weird thing because there were reformers like anti-slavery reformers in the Whig Party, and then John Calhoun, for a time period, who hated Andrew Jackson, left the Democrats and became a Whig. So you have anti-slavery advocates and John Calhoun, the king of slavery, in the same party. But then he goes back to the Democrats. All right. Van Buren, Panic of 1837, kind of kills his presidency. The second unbrilliant thing, the independent treasury system. Let's put the federal money into vaults and let it rot there and gain no interest and let it not be used to lend money to businesses and whatnot. So that's not good for the economy either. That will later be killed. It'll be reinvigorated. All right. What are the legacies of the Jacksonian era? One of the biggest legacies is that Andrew Jackson increased the power of the presidency. He was one of the first presidents to take the reins and do with the presidency as he wished. So some examples of that, his increase of the power of the presidency. He had a kitchen cabinet. He had a separate cabinet of newspapermen and other folks to sort of consult with to see what the pulse of the nation was. That was sort of unorthodox at the time. He is King Veto. He vetoes 12 times, often for personal reasons, more than any of the other presidents, I think, combined. He ignores John Marshall in the Supreme Court via the bus and Native Americans. Force bill is perceived as authoritarian, and the removal of the federal funds, killing the bus, all of that is just seen as very heavy-handed. He was a very charismatic president. He sort of sets a precedent for, yeah.
How much like kitchen cabinet, like unusual since Washington has one?
No, he had a real cabinet. He had the official cabinet members, Secretary of State, Secretary of Treasury, Secretary of War. The kitchen cabinet was an extra, outside, his own buddies, friends, newspapermen. They don't have official positions. Good question. Yeah.
What did the kitchen cabinet do again?
Other people besides official government officials. Official government officials. All right. You guys ready? Oh. Election of 1840, Tippecanoe and Tyler II, log cabin, hard side. This is when the Whigs basically pretend that they're all communists. All right. Analyze the successes and failures of Jacksonian democracy. Make a T-shirt. I want everybody to bullet point one success, one failure. While the failures lay in the denial of these opportunities to black slaves, Native Americans, and women. Okay? So this was, one thing I didn't mention was, these things that I'm talking about, the reform movements which will come next, Jacksonian democracy, the economics that I talked about, these are layers that are happening at the same time. The Jacksonian era was the era of go ahead, move out west, try something. If it doesn't work, try something else. People doing better, economically improving. So white males did enjoy that. All right. All right.
Oh, God.
All right. Don't try to write everything, please.
Oh.
All right.
Oops.
So expansion of vote as property qualifications become irrelevant. That shouldn't be a separate bullet point. Increase in popular participation. People get excited about politics. You have people coming out and voting. Rotation of office provides opportunities. Economic opportunities. Transportation revolution. All positive. Negatives doesn't apply to slaves. Native Americans are women. Jackson is a slave owner. Gag rule. Stifling of anti-slavery aspects. Cherokee versus, a Native American removal. Trail of Tears, Indian removal. Cult of domesticity for women. Women are politically invisible. So these are the kinds of things that you have to sort of pull together when you are taking the exam. All right, stretchy poo. Okay. That's wrong. Okay, religion and culture. Every once in a while, I just throw a mistake in so that you don't think I'm perfect. Because I know everyone does. All right, religion and culture in antebellum America. All right. Religious diversity. America had become a very diverse country from the First Great Awakening and then the Second Great Awakening. You've got your Catholics. You got your Quakers. You got Episcopals, Presbyterians, Methodists, Baptists, and Unitarians. Oh my God, please do not post this on the web.
Do we have to know?
She's videoing me. I will find you and I will kill you. Okay.
But not before it goes viral.
All right.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Do we have to know all of these denominations or just a few?
You know, one thing that you want to know is it's not like you have to, there's not going to be an essay. Explain the Episcopal philosophy, you know. What they're going to ask you is which groups of religions tended to grow during this time period. Quakers actually don't grow in the Second Great Awakening. They actually kind of lose ground. But these religions grow, so that's sort of, you need to recognize from this time period. What was that? They're coming. All right. This is the Second Great Awakening, hellfire and brimstone, kind of. Actually, not quite. The First Great Awakening was hellfire and brimstone. The Second Great Awakening, First Great Awakening is you guys are sinners in the hands of an angry God, right? Second Great Awakening is come back to God, live a religious life, feel the religious fervor, quake, shake, bark like a dog in the name of Jesus kind of thing. Sorry. But, really, that's what people are doing here. They're rolling around, speaking in tongues, and feeling the religious vibration moving through their body. And basically, at many different points in our country's history, when the nation is changing and people start to feel like, I really ask that you don't do side conversations. If you have a question, raise your hand, but please no side conversations. I can't talk over you. Thanks. Anytime the nation is changing, there are going to be people that say, whoa, 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 I don't like the way it's going. We need to either, sort of put the brakes on it, or we need to go back. We need to go back to the old religion. We need to go back to, bless you, we need to go back to religious fervor. And the Second Great Awakening was one such event. Camp revivals, and the cool thing about the Second Great Awakening was it wasn't like it was a Presbyterian revival and a Methodist revival. They would join together, join forces, and they would have Episcopals, Presbyterians, and Baptists. So there was an acceptance that different people chose different sects of religion, different ways to worship.